Dear Lord, please let the Commanders have a great season next year, and Ron Rivera move into a front office role, giving Eric Bieniemy the head coach job for the Washington Commanders.
Terry
So
McLaurin's
he does
toe.
not leave the building.
Terry McLaurin's toe.
Will heal, and in a freak of medicine, be stronger than it was before the injury. How you doing, man?
Doing good. I've been rescued, son. I've been rescued.
We got him off the life raft.
Feel better.
Gotta go check the last episode. Even if you saw it, you didn't make it all the way through it, go skip to the rant and just go check that out. Pop absolutely crushed that. That was an all-time funny moment for the pod on last week's episode. Guys, little disclaimer here. We're pre-recorded. Our Ravens insider is getting married, and our Ravens insider is getting married to our BTS insider. So we got to knock the pod out the weekend before, but it is the second annual Dom and Pop Commanders schedule prediction podcast.
The pod you've all been waiting for. I'm excited.
Does it get any better? The pod you've all been waiting for.
Are we taking it all the way through the playoffs and the Super Bowl too, son, or are we just going regular season?
Spoiler alert, 20-0. 20-0.
We got a fever.
Just kidding here.
We got the fever.
Like last schedule prediction pod I had a little too much coffee before. I'm a little more leveled here. Feeling better. Feeling kind of mellowed out right now. So we're going to go ahead and just get right into it.
Real quick. We'll throw you a curveball. We got to do it. We got to do it.
Throw it in there.
Sam Howell height meter. Still topping out at 7.5. I know you're sized, son.
8.
8? Oh, no.
Because it's the regular season. Oh,
no.
Now. It's the regular season now.
Come on, talk to me a little bit. You got 60 seconds on the clock. How excited are you about Sam Howell before the beginning of the season?
I'm over the moon. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what this guy brings. I especially think a little bit of a softer start to the schedule, which we'll get into. Funny situation against Buffalo week 3, which I will also get into here. But, man, this is going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting to see Sam Howell. Hopefully, not even Sam Howell. It's just going to be exciting to see, God willing, one quarterback play 17 games. Just that in and of itself is going to be exciting. Again, God willing, I almost feel weird saying that out loud. But that's really what I'm excited about more than anything.
Let's do this.
So let's do this without further ado. Let's get into it. Week 1, the week you've all been waiting for. A little softball from the National Football League. The reward for getting rid of Dan Snyder. Arizona Cardinals at home, 1 p.m. Josh Harris, first regular season game as a Commanders opener. Arizona projects to be the worst team in the NFL by a long margin next year. I think we're both going to go ahead and take this as a win, right?
A lot of people's survivor pool picks in the first week is going to be the Commanders. I feel it's like a blessing and a curse all at once, right? Because you're starting almost with a must-win in the season. You got to get that W. Got to get that W.
Please, with the must-win week 1.
Feel pretty confident about it. I agree. We're going to get the dub. I mean, never know. Colt McCoy, son. He's dropping dimes in preseason, apparently.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that one. Something poetic about beating Colt McCoy in the first game of the new era. Something poetic about that. There you go.
I got us down.
So
Pen
win
hand,
for that one.
W's.
Week 2 at Denver. Commanders Nation, let's ride. What do we see here? Commanders
Week
Country.
2 at Denver.
Let's ride.
4:25 Sunday game. Give us all those details, son.
4:25 Sunday game at Denver against Russell Wilson. Sean Payton is their new head coach. Their whole wide receiver crew is hurt right now. What do we see out of Denver week 2? What do you think, Pop?
That altitude could be a thing, but I disrespect Sean Payton. I definitely disrespect Russell Wilson. I'm going dub. We're starting out 2-0. This town's going to be on fire.
Yeah. It's really funny how
this
compares
to
it's just like the
We are
schedule
the
last
better
year.
team, though. Don't you feel like we're the better team of those two teams?
Sure,
Okay.
100%. I'm a little nervous about Pat Surtain against the young Sam Howell playing in altitude for the first time. That makes me a little nervous overall. But
Same. Ain't nothing the same.
it's Pat Surtain is something. But it's funny. It's just like the schedule last year where we started off Jacksonville at home and then at Detroit. We got the same thing here. Denver, a team most people think won't be very good, maybe has a chance. I think win here. I think this is where we assert this is a different situation from Eric Bieniemy or from last year with Eric Bieniemy. Win at Denver. Then week 3. Guys, 2 years ago, Ron Rivera called week 3 at Buffalo a measuring stick game. And that was one of the most miserable games I have ever witnessed as a Commanders fan. We got absolutely toppled. Horrible. That was just miserable. I think they hung 50-plus points on us. I'm projecting the same here. I think we definitely get beat by Buffalo. I'm not one of those Commanders fans that thinks we win. I think there's a chance that we start off 2-0. We start off dominantly 2-0. House is on fire, and they come home. Maybe Josh Allen gets the yips a little bit. Buffalo off to a slow start. I don't know. I just don't see a chance in hell we win this. 1 o'clock at home on CBS. Pop, what do you think there?
I was just going to give you a hard time about that song. Give it time home. I think we're going to lose. Yeah, I think it's going to be a closer game. I think we're going to play them tough. But, I think it's going to be a bit of a measuring stick. And especially if, my prediction comes through, your prediction comes through, we're 2-0. Going into that game, Buffalo's not going to take us for granted. That's one of those games you would want them to kind of, take us for granted a little bit. So I'm going to give us a loss there, but I think it's going to be a close game. You went loss too, right?
I went loss as well. Now we're going up to Philadelphia. This is a 1 o'clock game, so not a primetime game, against Philly on Fox. What do we think here? Week 4 up against Philadelphia.
I think we obviously surprised them last year and got a great win against Philly. I don't think we're going to surprise them this year. And, you just at the end of the day, who's the better team? Who's the more proven team? Philly at home, I got to go Philly there, unfortunately.
Yeah. Tell you what, we win this game if we beat Buffalo. If we get that break against Buffalo at home, which I think will be a closer game than people are projecting, still think it's a loss. We get that win, and then we go up to Philly and we win Philadelphia.
4-0 would be
bronze statues of Ron Rivera being erected out front FedEx Field.
But you didn't make your pick. Got winner or loss?
Got to take a loss here. A loss here. It's just a pragmatic choice. I
both got us 2-2.
For the record, I think Philly might get off to a slower start, but I'm going to go ahead and take a loss there. Chicago, Thursday night, rematching what was one of the most epic games of football we ever watched last year. The game we should have lost. And you know what? The game that cemented Carson Wentz will never play for the Commanders again. Even though he did.
Prime time on Thursday night.
Prime time Thursday night versus Chicago, a young kind of feisty team. Justin Fields at quarterback, $8.15 on Amazon Prime. So you're going to have to get the subscription if you don't have it. Pop might have to do a little bit of technical support for some of our family to help get that up and running. It's a little different situation from normal cable, but we'll get it figured out. Thursday at the
make
Bears.
A good price.
Bears at home. I think we got to win that game. I mean, what do you think, Pop?
I think it's a W2. Justin Fields worries me too, and I think that Bears team's starting to build momentum, and I think some optimism there. But I think you got to take that W at home, especially if we're coming off a couple of close losses that we think we might be. I go W as well. We are in lockstep so far, son.
Yep, so far 3-2, and I think we'll be in lockstep for this next one too. At Atlanta, Sunday, October 15th, 1 o'clock. What do you just say? We count down 3, 2, 1. That's a win, right?
Win. Mini bye, kind of like that. Atlanta's getting way too much respect. We don't like that about it. We could be going against your boy.
Taylor Heineke could be starting by then.
Plays. Still
that
confident?
Could be interesting. So if Taylor plays, I would be slightly less confident just because I'm really out on Desmond Ridder. But I think in general, win against Atlanta.
Wow, 4-2. That'd be pretty sweet.
I guess that would be 4-2. But we're going to come back down to earth next week at New York. This team just has our number at home. Daniel Jones, 1 o'clock. I gotta project a loss there. My whole life, the Meadowlands has just been a disappointing, painful experience. I'm projecting a loss there. I was even thinking about going to that game, and I just said I'm not going to do that because I just
I'm
hate
going
to
to
see
just
them
skip
play at the
ahead a little
Meadowlands.
bit and just to give you insight on my thinking. I think between New York and Philly, I don't think we lose both those games. I think we're going to split them.
Yeah,
I'm going to skip ahead. I already give it away. I think we beat Philly at home. So
me too.
I'm going to call it a loss against the Giants too, just because I think we're going to take one of those two games. I don't want to predict the sweep against the Eagles. So I think we get a big win against the Eagles at home, but we lose a tough game against the Giants on the road.
Agree exactly. So that skips ahead to next week. 1 o'clock again, Philly at home. We both have a win there. So let's go ahead and move on.
That'd be a
Now
big
we're
win.
looking. That would be a big win. That'd be a
That'd be a
signature
big win. You go
Commanders win here.
5-3.
So Sunday, November 5th, the Patriots, 1 o'clock p.m. at the Patriots in Boston, in Foxborough. I gotta go win here. I just don't believe in the Pats this year, man. I really just don't. I don't see it. I don't know. Win.
I'm with you. I think that they're, I do think this Patriots team now with the new offensive coordinator, and they're kind of getting their ground about them. And I do kind of like Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is a solid player in this league. But if they start playing around at quarterback, they don't seem sold on him. They kind of like the backup. I forget his name. Who's the backup with the Patriots?
Bailey Zappi.
I knew you could pull it, son. I put you on the spot. That's why I love you. But now I'm going to give us a W, but, scary a bit, but I'm going to give us a W here.
So it has a 6-3 through 9 weeks. Ashburn syndrome is settling in, and let me tell you what, it's only getting stronger. I got to win at Seattle. I think this is where that midseason Ron Rivera streak starts to take effect, and we will win against Seattle. Just historically, this is when the Commanders seem to play their best ball, like early November, mid-November. Gonna go ahead and take a win there. It's 425, if that matters. But what do you think on this West Coast game at Seattle? Tough place to play. Good team. I'm projecting a little bit of a regression to the mean here with Seattle, but I know you're high. You think the Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl. So what do you think?
Look at this. Look at this situation, right? I mean, you play Atlanta coming off of a mini bye because you play Chicago on Thursday. Kind of like that, but then it's a gauntlet. You got the Giants, you got the Eagles, you got New England on the road, and then you go from a road game in New England to you got to fly across country, the longest flight you're going to make all season to play at Seattle. I got to go lost there just because of all those reasons. I think the tank is going to be a little bit on empty, and it's going to be a tough one. If they win that game, that's going to be one hell of a win, but I got to come down a little bit back to earth. I mean, you've already got us passing our over-under with Vegas, 6.5. You got us at 7 wins.
Oh, yeah, definitely
10 games in.
Well,
6-4 for me.
Hold on to your hats, ladies and gents, because we still have Dallas twice, Miami, and San Francisco coming up, and the Jets.
And here's why I think loss at Seattle for me. I'll skip ahead. New York is next. We're not going to get swept by the Giants. Ain't happening. I know you love your boy Debo. I know you think he's already should get in the Hall of Fame after 1 year of coaching. We're not getting swept to the Giants. Just saying.
I didn't know Debo Samuel took over as coach for the Giants there. My boy Debo.
What's his name?
Brian Daboll.
Debo. Come on. Debo. Just,
I mean, they have absolutely nothing in common.
But who do we got next, son?
I got a loss against New York. I think that's
so. New York at home, 1 o'clock. I kind of messed this up a little bit.
Yeah,
you got us getting swept by the Giants.
Fair.
Che disgrazia. It
just always seems to happen.
Bothers me, son.
It's not about my love of Daboll. It's about
your love of Daboll.
Have our number, dude. It has nothing to do with that. I think we finished with a better record than the Giants this year, but it's about the Giants have our number. So
if they sweep us, we're not finishing with a better record.
I think we do. I think we do. You're the math guy. We both have the same record here.
But I mean, just in general, like just general common sense. That makes
no sense.
If we got a stat guy out there, how many times have the team gotten swept by a team, but finished with a better record than that team?
How many games are there in a season? There's 17
Help me,
games.
people, in the comments.
17 games in a season. We play them twice.
The math can work, but it just doesn't happen.
I don't know. I don't think it's that uncommon, but let us know in the comments, guys. I
got Dub. We're both 7-4. We'd be pretty happy with that, but getting swept by the Giants, I'm unhappy with you, son. We'll have to talk about this later.
At Dallas
on I raised you better than that.
At Dallas on Thanksgiving. I'm real fired up about me thinking the Giants sweep us. I'm going off of what we saw last year, which was a loss and a tie.
You love those guys so much. Please, buy a blue jersey already.
I'm not a Giants fan, even though Saquon's
Stop giving them so much respect. We went through it preseason. Their roster's not that great. Who do they got? We're not going to get swept by the Giants.
This is an indictment on Ron more than it is a endorsement of the Giants. I wish you could see it a little more nuanced than how you're seeing it, but you're seeing just straight burgundy, which is cool. I respect that.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. We've talked about where we think we're going to finish. You were the guy last week saying we're the second best team in the NFC East. How do we get swept by the Giants?
Happens.
All right. It's an anomaly. It's a mystery.
Happens. We got Dallas on Thanksgiving, 4:30 game. I think we win this one. What do you think, Pop?
I'm going to put us for a W2 because I'm just going to call it the Josh Harris effect. I think it's just a situation where the vibes are good. It's one of those magical seasons. We did it with, we seem to perform pretty well in those Thanksgiving games after we went out all of them. Not a big believer in the Cowboys. I'm just going to put us down for a W2. Not overly confident about this one, but my goodness, son, we're 8-4.
We're 8-4.
Goodness.
We're 8-4.
I'm going to need you to take your temperature after this podcast.
We come back down to earth against Miami, for my prediction at least. We're going to play them at home.
At home.
1 o'clock.
At home.
At home is a big advantage. Not a good cold weather team. Who knows if Tua will be on the field at this point in the year. But by then, you almost project Miami might be better because Jalen Ramsey will be coming back from injury around that time of the year, week 13. This is a team that you think, at least in their camp, they're thinking by now we got to be starting to warm up for a potential Super Bowl run. I am going to take Miami here for sure. I think they beat us. It's just a little bit of a hangover on the short week.
It's not a short week.
The mini bye, excuse me. But a little bit of a hangover after that Thanksgiving win against Dallas. Yeah, I think we lose here. What do you think, Pop?
Yeah, I'm gonna put down as a loss too, only because I'm not as big a believer or feel as strongly. I don't think we're going to be 9-4 at this point in the season. So I think we're likely to drop one of those games I thought we would win. Miami's a really good ball club. I am a believer in that Miami team being a great team. If Tua is healthy, they're a problem to deal with Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I do like the fact that playing Miami in a home game after that mini bye, I feel fairly confident about our ability to beat them. But it's East Coast game for them. They're used to warmer weather, although it could be cooler at that point. Yeah. I just, like I said, just to even things, balance things out.
And I can hear
can't put us at 9-4. I got to go lost there as well.
I could hear the Miami fans jumping through the screen. They played Buffalo pretty close at Buffalo twice last year, towards the end of the year in the cold. Much colder there, much better team. So I don't think the weather makes as big of an impact.
December 3rd, but
although it is something to point out, I don't think it makes as big of an impact. We got the bye week next week. Week 14 bye again. For some reason, can't cut to the league for that. We keep having to deal with that week 14 bye. It's just ugly.
If you can survive it, though, if you could survive it and you get to that point, getting that bye and getting healthy for that late season run isn't the worst thing in the world. Wouldn't be my choice, but you got to deal with the hand that you got, and having that bye to kind of build some momentum and get healthy for those last 4 games. I'd rather have a late bye than an early bye. How about
It's
that?
it's a half empty, half full situation because on one hand you might get a little chance to rest. You might get a guy with a hamstring that's a little tight who might only be 50%. He gets to be 100% for the next game. Sure, you also worry about losing momentum at that point, and that's the time of the year where you want to be heating up. You don't want to. We saw they kind of sputtered out of the bye last year with that Week 14 bye, and then coming out and losing to New York off the bye. I mean, I remember we were looking at that last year. We had the Giants bye week, and then the Giants again, and we said there's no way we don't at least split those games, and we tied bye
Look at
week,
our
and then we
quarterback
came out and
situation
lost.
last year.
Different situation, but you saw it. We sputtered. We lost a little bit of momentum there. So then we got the Rams, who another Super Bowl pick for Pop. This is the Diamond Pop Bowl here. This is a big game.
Whatever.
A big game for the boys. We will
I
be
have the
in
Giants in the
attendance.
Super Bowl.
We got the Rams. I do not have the Giants in the Super Bowl. I don't even have the Giants in the playoffs. But we have the Rams Sunday, December 17th, 4:05 p.m. at Los Angeles SoFi Stadium. Dom and Pop will be there live.
We're going to be there. We're going to be post game and pre game and doing all kinds of stuff from LA. It's going to be a lot of fun. My son's second hometown.
The city of Los Angeles will never be the same. I think we got to predict wins here, right?
Without a doubt, we're not going to not come home with a win, just like we did to the Raiders in Vegas.
Damn straight. Got to predict a win.
Pop are going to bring a W home. No question about it.
Got to predict a win there.
Woo! 9-5.
9-5. I'll make this short and sweet. The Commanders ruined Christmas again for the second year. Christmas Eve, 1 o'clock. That's a loss. That's a loss as far as I'm concerned. Pop, what do you think against the Jets at New York, at MetLife for the second time this year?
I don't like the Jets, but I think if we get that win against LA, they are. I mean, I don't like all the hype around the Jets. I got nothing against the Jets, but they do look like they're a heck of a football team. I'm gonna say loss there too, and
definitely
9-6.
9-6, and then San Francisco at home. This is one where we both are projecting a little bit more parity at the quarterback position than what the national scope thinks. We're both a little bit lower on Brock Purdy than maybe the rest of the country, but I still got a loss here against San Francisco at home, New Year's Eve, 1 o'clock. I just think this is that classic Ron Rivera end of the season sputter that would put us at 9-7 against the San Francisco 49ers at home, 1 o'clock on New Year's Eve. Pop, what do you have here?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right, and I think
there's
a couple ways to go here since we got a little time. So we got San Francisco at home, 1 o'clock. Very next game is Dallas at home. We don't know that's TBD in terms of time. They're leaving that one open to flex. I guess they do that with every team at the end of the season. That could be a huge game. I feel like we're going to get one of these two. 10-6, 10-7 feels about right to me. I just don't know which way to go with it. If we're going to steal, and I hate the idea of losing to Dallas in that last game of the season. I just don't think that's going to happen. But I could see a situation where, are we really going to sweep Dallas as well? But I'm going to say we're going to split these last two games. I'm going to tip my hand and say we lose a squeaker to the 49ers at home. Bit of a slide, bit of concern. People calling radio stations asking for Ron's head. Here we go again, sliding at the end of the season. Could get a little bit hairy. Still 9-7, not bad. But yeah, I'll put us down for an L. But I'm not convinced with myself that we couldn't make a little run at the end here and go maybe 11-6. But I'll take the loss against the Rams as well. I mean, the 49ers as well.
And this is where things get interesting here with the parity of how I'm picking the games versus how Pop is picking the game. So at this point, we're looking at both a loss against San Francisco. So against Dallas in week 17 or week 18, we're going to be 9-7 at this point.
Yeah.
We both have us at 9-7. We got there different ways, and that's why I said this gets interesting. We got a little bit of time here so we can get into it. With me having us losing to New York twice, with divisional record being the tiebreaker, this is probably a must-win game to go ahead and get that wild card spot and get into the playoffs, right? With Pop having us at this point 4-1, right? Is that how the math checks out? It would be 4-1 in the division at this point. You play 6 division games, play 3 teams twice. That's 6.
We
You have
split
one
with the Giants. We split, so we have 2 losses for
3
me
and
in the
2.
division.
Excuse me, 3 and 2. You have a split with the Giants. Pop has us 3 and 2. 3 and 3 in the division might be enough to force to the head-to-head. And then if we force to the head-to-head against a team like Seattle or a team like LA, maybe this isn't a must-win game and we're in either way. Those playoff pictures always get murky at the end of the year. Either way, Dallas at home, week 18, likely going to get flexed, you would guess. Maybe Dallas's playoff hopes are on the line here. You'd like to see this.
Feel like I got to get back on the raft, son.
This is what you're here
What's
for
your
all
pick?
season.
What's your pick?
Anticipation, but on us out to give it a second here. Give it a second. I'm building the suspense. We win this game. This is
yes. Thank you.
This is the definitive. Dan Snyder era is over. Win that sends this team into the playoffs.
10-7.
I think win 10-7 against Dallas. Let's be real here. 10-7 with Sam Howell. It's an optimistic look at things, right? Things could go left. He could cool off. We're both pretty high on him. Overall, I think the roster's good. But if we take a step back, this team was 8-1 with Taylor Heineke and Carson Wentz last year. You figure, if anybody, if the 11th caller on 980 against B. Mitch and Finley, if the 11th caller played quarterback week 17 against the Cleveland Browns, we win that game. So now you're looking at 9-7-1. Carson Wentz throws a goal line pick against the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
We lose that game. The Giants game, if we just go win, loss instead of tie, loss, that's another win. So it sounds crazy given the 6.5 total, but I really don't think this team is that far off. And that's projecting with Taylor Heineke and Carson Wentz at quarterback. We got to be so much better than the
Can I give people the synopsis of what you just said? We were 8-1 with one of the worst quarterback rooms in the league.
100%.
Right.
100%. And I think.
So you think we'll do better with Sam, Jacoby? Don't sleep on Jake Fromm.
I'm dead asleep on Jake Fromm. I'm 4 melatonins and 2 L-theanines on Jake Fromm.
There we go. We got our opening.
That is, yeah. I'm dead asleep.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think, at this point, it's crazy to say, but if Sam Howell doesn't play well, I think it would be kind of a shock.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of people out there, how can you say that? And, I'll admit, we won't know till we know. But I always go by my eyes. I always go by what I see. And, yeah, I get caught up. I was trying to get caught up in Carson Wentz. I was trying to say, I knew he didn't look good, but I was trying to say, just give him time. He's a great talent. I was thinking back to his early Philly days. But what has this kid done to not build confidence in what you think you're going to see? I think it's only a question of health. I think he's going to establish himself. I equate him to Terry McLaurin a few years back when everybody's like, this is the real deal. He's feeling like it, and I just think he's got to stay healthy, obviously. I don't think I'd feel as comfortable if Jacoby was the starter. I think that's, more of another 500-ish, I think EB would scheme us up and keep us competitive, and the defense could definitely keep us in a lot of games. We haven't talked much about that defense, right? That defense has a potential to be a top 5 squad, top 3 squad, maybe even a top couple squad. If they can perform up to their potential, that's going to keep us in the running in a lot of these games as well. So 10-7, I think it's a good prediction for Commanders podcast, right? I mean,
yeah,
vibes are pretty high. We didn't go over the top. We're not 12-5 or anything. It's good and solid. It could teeter one way or another. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how right or wrong we are. I forget what we picked last season. I'm sure it was. I think it was probably in that 9-8 range, right?
Yeah, last season we both picked 9-8. I have it right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we both picked 9-8 last season. I think we projected a little bit higher at the earlier season, but after the preseason and what we'd heard, we picked 9-8. And we were one pass interference call that should have been called on Curtis Samuel away from that. We were one game against Cleveland that looked terrible that we should have won. We were basically there last year, so we're not far off. I think
so 10-7. Get ready for year 5 of Ron Rivera, people, and put it in the books. It should be a lot of fun. Can't wait. We'll sneak in a pregame pod before the Arizona game, which you just can't wait to start pre and post game in it. So let's do it.
So what I need all of you to do every night before you go to bed, you say a prayer. You say a prayer for me. Join me in prayer. To whoever you pray to, Jesus, Jewish God, Allah, Tom Cruise, wherever you're at. There's 2 weeks in a row I got that reference and I'm pretty pumped on it. Dear Lord, please let the Commanders have a great season next year and Ron Rivera move into a front office role, giving Eric Bieniemy the head coach job for the Washington Commanders.
Terry McLaurin's
so
toe.
Not leave the building.
Terry McLaurin's toe
will heal and in a freak of medicine be stronger than it was before the injury. Leading into a 2,000-yard season. Amen.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
We got more important things to pray about than the Commanders.
I don't know, man. Without further ado, let's wrap this thing up. I've been Dom.
This is Pop.
Thanks for